First of all, I'd like to say thank you very much for the women's group for having me here today. Today I'm going to talk briefly about actually one project that I consider to be almost my baby. And it's my attempt at actually bringing back the style of epic poetry. I actually started writing this back in high school, and knock on wood, but a lot of my classmates had taken an interest in it, and they in turn used their talent to help further the story along. So as you notice over here, my one friend provided illustrations over the course of all these years, and another friend of mine who was very heavy into music is right now in the post-production aspect of putting out a soundtrack to the book. And in the nutshell, Dragon's Bane comes from my love of history. But if you can imagine a world that's been divided by civil war for over 10,000 years, and think back of incidents like some of the race riots of 1968, with also mixed in some of the speeches of Hitler, Goering, and Himmler versus in circa 1939 Berlin. And then you turn around and have a hero who, instead of being muscular, burly, and Conan the Barbarian type, is skinny, burn scars over 85% of his body, and is extremely insecure, but yet has to figure out how to unite the world and look over everybody's differences. And the one piece I'm going to read from is actually one that was the most difficult for me to write. It took almost half a year to put it in for prep time, but I'm very fortunate enough that once I did get it to the way that I wanted, everybody that had read it both in school and even now with the book out, this particular scene has been the one that everyone has been writing in praises and emails and phone calls raving about madly. And it boils down to a matter of choice. And what it is, it's two leaders that are meeting during the course of peace negotiations. And these two leaders are making the attempt at it after being at war with each other. So, Letarian returned with his family. In his arms were the cries of a newborn as Letarian's wife tended to the blankets. Verdarian gestured that they all approached the center of the chamber. The council elder once again forced his body to rise as he prepared to pass judgment. Lord Letarian, your anger has gotten the best of you once again. In doing so, you have gone against the articles of war taught to you by your father. By ordering the deaths of Caravax's family, you have also done the same for yours. Verdarian unsheathed the battle axe from Letarian's shoulder and passed the blade to Caravax. To atone for the loss of your family, you have the right to wipe out the bloodline of Letarian. Take the axe and finish it. Caravax grabbed the mighty weapon. It took both of his hands to grip it steadily. He stood in front of Letarian's wife with the axe raised. His gaze alternated between her and the child. Beside him, Letarian let out a quiet groan of sorrow. Caravax dropped the axe before the family and turned to Verdarian. Elder, I know that this way has worked for your kind in the past. I cannot do that. It would make my grief worse if I let my vengeance out on this woman and child. Letarian felt his jaw open and his heart skipped a beat. Moving quietly, he wrapped his arm around his wife protectively. The ways of your people are strange to us, Caravax. If you cannot atone for your loss with blood, then the other solution is atonement by life. Letarian, your family has been spared by Caravax. It is therefore decided you shall remain in his services and offer your aid in the formation of this alliance. Know this, though, Caravax was generous on sparing your family. You still violated our laws. Should you refuse, I will erase your bloodline myself.